Do you know that Russia has their own black community? There's always this misconception that all Russians look like blondes with blue eyes. Sorry to disappoint you, but yes, we have a lot of black people as well. And this has been here for decades. In the 1920s and 60s, thousands of African students came to the USSR to study for free. Medicine, engineering, art, diplomacy. Russia literally trained an entire generation of African leaders. Ask any Russian over 40. They know about the legendary Soviet singer Pierre Narciss or the actor Gary Belfonte. Black artists have been on Russian TV since forever. Today, the Russian black community is mostly international students, athletes, musicians, second-generation kids born in Moscow and St. Petersburg, or just tourists. Yes, they speak Russian fluently. There's a black American content creator named Pouty who actually went to Russia and filmed what it's like to be in the Russian black community. He even interviewed Jacques Anthony, who is the most famous Russian black rapper. He also got famous for getting a Putin tattoo. In this video, he also discusses, are Russians racist? What is the difference of people treating you as a black person in America versus in Russia? The answer may be shocking, but actually, black people on average face less racism in Russia than in America. It's also so funny, but he interviewed this Russian black lady. She's literally dressed like a Russian grandma with the thickest Russian accent. My brain just couldn't comprehend it. It is so cool to see the diversity in Russia, how welcoming Russians are. In the video, they're going into public spots, and they face absolutely no discrimination there. The black community in Russia exists, it's actually thriving. Only to learn more about Russia. Did you know that Russia has their own black community? There's always this misconception that...
Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there onto the light foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in Hebrew, which means peace, which are scattered abroad, as she's clearly speaking. And that's just, is more than a black thing, because there's a lot of Israelites scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. But I find it interesting, fascinating, that they said that they had hip hop, gangs, you know what I'm saying? Because Israel as a nation is a very peculiar people. All right. As a nation is a very, very peculiar people and influences throughout the four corners of the earth. So everything that she's saying, you could clearly see it. Okay. And the Lord didn't just send all of us into America. He said, we're scattered abroad because that's part of the curses. Okay. That's literally part of the curses. And so we're in Russia, China, okay, all over the world. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. James 1:1. It said, James, a servant of the Lord, a servant of Yahweh, and of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Greeting. So we were scattered abroad. Now, there's been a thing about the Israelite foreigners. All right, Israelite foreigners is not going to all look the same. Apostle Gabar always say that not every Israelite is going to look like John Shaft. Oh, was it Richard Roundtree? Not everybody's going to look the same. You got Israelites that are going to look like the other nations. You got Israelites that look like regular people. But overall, the Spirit of the Lord is amongst all these people. Okay? We was going to be scattered. Matter of fact, if you go to, get this real quick, Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So the Lord has scattered all Israel everywhere. All right, including Russia. Now that just popped up. I remember seeing was it a video? Yeah. And it was breaking it down. I know what to do. I gotta find it. Slack, I'm gonna get it.
Interestingly enough, Pushkin had African roots, and his great-grandfather was the son of an African prince who served under Russia's first emperor, Peter the Great, and was his godson. The name of Pushkin's great-grandfather was Abram Petrovich Gannibal, and since 1756 he was the chief military engineer of the Russian army. Though Pushkin had never been to Africa, a monument in his honor was erected in the capital of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, with the inscription, to our poet.
Another.
Sergeyevich Pushkin, born on D99 in Moscow, is often celebrated as the greatest Russian poet and the founder of modern Russian literature. His works span various genres, including poetry, drama, and prose, and he played a pivotal role in shaping the Russian literary landscape. He is known for pioneering the use of vernacular language in literature, blending various styles and genres to create a unique narrative voice. Pushkin faced political challenges early in his career due to his liberal views. He was exiled for a time after publishing controversial poems. His life was cut short at age 37 when he was fatally wounded in a duel, reportedly over his wife's honor. Pushkin's influence extends beyond his lifetime. He is credited with laying the groundwork for future Russian literature.
And there was another individual, I think this is going to say it right here. And there was a Russian woman, so-called white woman, that was breaking it down. And she was like, I'm not ashamed about it. So Jake's influence has been around the world. So I don't know who this is. Let me see.
I told you that the greatest writer and poets of the Russian literature, and also the person who created the Russian language, was actually a black man.
The Russian language that we know today can be attributed to a black man named Alexander Pushkin. He created the modern Russian language because they were speaking French and other types of language there.
Had it not been for someone like Alexander Pushkin, Russians would be speaking French today.
Yes, people, that is correct. The Yakubian creatures, known as the Russian people, have been finally exposed. And the great Russian language that the Russian people are so proud of was actually created by a black man. And in fact, before this black man, Alexander Pushkin, created the Russian language, Russian people actually spoke French. Let's talk about the real.
So it shows you the influences of Jake. Despite even that we were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth against our will, might I add. This is why I gotta go to original. This is why the Lord said this to Abraham. Genesis 12:3. I'll start at 2. And I will make thee, this is Abram, the Lord is talking to Abram, I want to make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that will curse thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So languages, arithmetics, which is mathematics, reading, anything of value came from Jake. All right. Who were the sons of Abraham? Because the line goes for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So wherever we was at, we made that society great. And I'll dare anybody to ask. Well, you could ask this guy, was it Jesse Lee Patterson? He said that Negroes didn't do nothing. Right? That's because you have a lot of uncies out there. But Israel's great influences has been throughout all the world. Okay, and of course we don't get credit for it because Esau would get the credit. There was a time when Trump had made mention of all the great things that America had created. Well, in fact, let me see if I can find that video. The show and tell, right? Trump, mention, and it went, yeah. But there's another one. Yeah, there it is.
It was a black person that admitted it. There's a clip going around of Donald Trump talking about how great American innovation is, and everything that he named that America invented, it was a black person that admitted it.
This is a nation that invented the light bulb, the telegraph, the television, the telephone, the computer chip, the smartphone, the GPS, the integrated circuit, and even the internet. Basically, we invented everything. What is left? We invented everything.
Bro, black people did all that. We innovate and create everything. We've invented the ice cream scoop, ice cream, the alarm,
the ice cream. I found that out like a couple
the alarm system, macaroni and cheese, plasma, the hot comb. There's a list of so many inventions and creations by black people.
What is left? We invented everything.
And there's also videos. Certain things certain things this Finding out about the language of the Russian language, that was new, but it makes sense because we are the sons of God. We're gods, so everything is created by us. Okay, but there's a particular Deuteronomy 28. See if I can remember off top. Hold on. If you go into the curses, it tells you this is why these things happen to us. All right, Deuteronomy 28 and tells you. Hold on. Oh, okay. It says, "The fruit of thy land, all the labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and that shall be oppressed. That shall only be oppressed and crushed always." So that's part of the curses. So we invent, they take credit. We bring something to life, they took credit for it. Okay, but what's happening that the Lord, things are coming out. Okay, we the ones that did it. All right, we the ones that did this and that, but we're not gonna get credit for it. And that's the thing that bothers Jake. And it says, verse 43, the stranger that is within thee shall get up over thee very high, and that shall come down very low. And that's happened. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Because all the inventions, every single thing you could think of, they take credit for. Though they have no originality whatsoever. And even to the base form of music. We invented the great classical music that they love to, Beethoven and so forth. Beethoven's an Israelite. They Jakes. Okay? Which I'm going to get to this. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. It says, "Then shall the righteous stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him and have made no account of his labors." And in this society, they call you lazy. You come from a people that's thieves and so forth. But now you come to realization that you do come from royalty. Like that bitch Lily Gaddy, whatever. The kings. She like to tease and say, "Oh, they love to talk about they come from kings." Yeah, we come from kings. All right. Everything comes from us. We are the soul, just the salt of the world, which the Lord's been said that. Okay. Matter of fact, since I said that, Matthew 5:12 or 11. I'm sorry. Matthew 5:13. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to cast out and to trod it under foot of men. So we are the soul of this world. Without us, nothing can exist. And it's a bold statement, but it's factual. All right. The influence of Israel, the true biblical Israelites around the world, is astronomical. It's truly astronomical. He just said straight up, we created the Russian language. Okay. To this day, there's Jake that's in Russia. So that you could clearly see the influence that so-called black men has on this world. So every time they sit there try to downplay our impact in this world, just look at life itself. Everything that's in this world was created for us and by us. Matter of fact, so I said that. Let me get this. Second Ezra 6:54 or 52. Let's see, 52 says. It's 54. And after this, so after these, Adam also, whom that made us Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom that has chosen. So who the Lord chose out of all the people on the planet Earth? Everybody can be chosen. Okay, and it says, and this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou hast made us the world for our sakes. So the world today is made for the Israelites. All right, it's made for the Israelites, but the heathens are ruling. We in the time of the Gentiles, the natural Gentiles. They're taking all the credit for everything. The credit for this, the credit for that. But it's okay. It's all okay. It's all good because we're going to get to enjoy the kingdom of heaven. It says, as for the other people which also come of Adam, that has said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. So basically, everything that the heathens have done, they made a difference in this world. The only ones that made a difference is the wicked, because they had to come against everything that the Lord created. But they're nothing in the sight of the Lord. They like spit, and liken the abundance of them unto the drop that falleth from the vessel. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which they have so reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. So when they become lords over us, they take the credit from us, which was part of what? The curses. All right. We will make something and we will not enjoy it. We was not going to enjoy it. We couldn't enjoy it. It says, but we, thy people, whom thou called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, thy fervent lover, are given unto their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? Because we're in the time of the Gentiles, but the world to come is our rulership. Second Ezra 8:1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High have made this world for many, which is all these heathens, but the world to come for few, which are which the Lord is about to bring back his people from the four corners of the world, the earth, which he scattered us abroad. So I'm going to end it off on this. Isaiah 11:11. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, from Patros, from Cush, from Elam, from Shinar, from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations. The ensign is this word. And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So we are scattered abroad, and the Lord is going to retrieve his people from Russia, from China, Japan, all over the world. All right. Proving that the Israelite foreigners always been Israel that was scattered abroad. Why would the Lord send a second time around when everybody else is a part of this new thing that was never exist. The Lord always been for his people. He's always been, and at the end of it all, he's gonna bring his people back from all the four corners of the earth, because that was a punishment of us being scattered. So that being said, let's real quick to the spirit. Shalom to the elect of the nations. Shalom.